Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and Merry Christmas, because it's Christmas time. So today we are going into another one of these possible top 25 bourbon of the year contenders videos. They're doing good. You guys apparently like these videos, so. And I need to get through a couple bottles. I have a whole stack behind the camera that I'm trying to put into videos with similar bottles. So today we're going over four different finished bourbons. Actually, there's two in here that I really wanted to do, and then I realized that they're both finished. So I was like, oh, let me throw a couple other in here that I haven't reviewed on the channel. But first, let's do a giveaway. All right, so this giveaway is actually for part one in apparently this series. So the first Is It Worthy video from I think last Wednesday. And I like bourbon a lot. Email is in the description. Congratulations. So this is the four bottles we're going over today. Real quickly, I'll go over them. So this is the Penelope Omega. And this is 130 bucks MSRP, or at least around there. 109.8 proof. And this is bourbon finished in French oak barrels. And this is one of the ones I really wanted to review, because I haven't reviewed on the channel, but obviously I've had it before. None of these are close to being fresh crack pours. All of these I've tried numerous times in the past. Maybe not the Bardstown, but I think I've had other people's. But this one was kind of like, I probably had a couple pours maybe out of this bottle, because it's the closest one to the top. But like this one I got in the beginning of the year, but we'll get to that one. So that's the Omega. This is the other one I really wanted to review, Bardstown Ferrand. And this is 140 bucks. And this is a blend of straight whiskeys finished in Ferrand, Cognac, Cask. Oh boy, is this not even a bourbon? Let's see. Kentucky 9-year-old bourbon, Kentucky 11-year-old bourbon, Kentucky 12-year-old bourbon, and it looks like Bardstown's own 6-year rye, 95.5 rye, but that's only 7%. So we're going with it's close enough. So then we go into this Barrell Bourbon Cask Finish Series ice wine, and my buddy Vinny let me borrow this a while ago. I just never got to review on the channel, but I was like, let's freaking do it today. So this is 5-year-old straight bourbon whiskey finished in ice wine. Let's see, blend components is Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, Wyoming, and there's a crap load. Derived mash bill. That's why I was saying like this one's a derived mash bill would still be bourbon, but I'll show the back of that so you can hopefully zoom focuses. You can see all the backs of it. Anyway, so the ice wine is around $90. If you don't know about ice wine, I'll quickly go over it. So that's when they pull the grapes after the first frost of the year. It's usually much sweeter that way. That's why ice wine is typically like in small, skinny wine bottles, because it's almost like a dessert pour. I should drink a lot of wine. So then we got Jefferson's Marian McLain, and this bottle is expensive. This is a $300 MSRP bottle. I don't know how many people actually bought this bottle. I bought this bottle early on in the year. I remember getting it at a liquor store and then heading over to the Cigar Lounge with a couple buddies and opening it there. I think that's the only time I ever drank it, was that one time with the cigars, and we put a nice little dent in it. We had obviously other stuff. And what is this? So this is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys, a 14, 11, a wheated, a rum cask finish. This is why this one went to this lineup, because it does have 17% of it is rum cask finished, and then 8% to 8-year-old. Limited edition, so it's good. Now I haven't had it in a while. I don't even remember if I liked it or not, but it is stupid expensive. I'm not sure how many of you guys have had it. So let's get into the blend. All right, so let's get into the nose on A. Now, I know I say peanut butter as a note a lot, but man, this is a peanut butter bomb. I don't think I've ever got that much like rich peanut butter off the nose on something. So sweet peanut butter, cocoa powder, peanut butter on toast. I'm telling you, just a lot of peanut butter and some red fruit. Very peanut butter forward. Good nose. I love peanut butter, man. Let's go to B on the nose. All right, so B, I'm gonna say 3 notes to describe one note. So it's spicy, yellowgrass, and oak. That's not really 3 different notes. It was one note I was getting out of this. It's very strong, and I don't know exactly what it is, but those notes kind of explain it, at least in my head. But overall, it's actually a really good note, but it's not complex. That's the only note I was getting. Yeah, still. And it's, I guess you can break it down to those 3 notes, but it was distinct one note nosing for B for me. Okay, let's go to C. All right, so C is more of that dark fruit profile, jam, sweet. Overall pretty light, but they've all been different. Go to D. Another pretty light nose, but it has a note that I've never said before for sure. Sponge cake, vanilla, and sweet. So very sweet, but very light. Okay, let's get into the palates. All right, the palate's pretty decent. So peanut butter, purple Jolly Rancher, blackberry jam, dark fruit, peanut butter. Did I say peanut butter the first time, not peanut? I don't know. I was almost trying to say like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I wasn't getting the bread element of it. But a lot of like peanut buttery, peanut, and dark fruit jelly jam notes. Same exact thing on the finish, except the finish kind of went away quick and it was thin, like a little watery at the end. Overall pretty decent. I do like it. Okay, second sip. All right, so on the palate, I got some chocolate and spice. The finish got a little bit better. It wasn't as thin, but still lackluster versus the palate. Little nuttiness on the linger. I really do enjoy the palate. The finish, more of the same. Again, the palate, I really enjoy the finish. Now this time there was like a little bit of an off-putting note. I didn't even write anything down. It just kind of like tasted it as like, oh, that's unfortunate. It makes the finish even less for me. And that's the problem, right? So you have the palate, you're enjoying it, and the finish is kind of what stays in your mouth afterwards. And if that needs to be good too, because that's kind of what lasts longer. Let's get to B. Yeah, so B is way different than A. It is crazy intense. And these proof points are near each other enough. I think they're maybe 10 proof points away from each other. This seems way more spicy than A. So again, I got that spicy yellow grass oak note, whatever that note is. Strawberry chapstick, because it gives me a kind of like that waxy type taste. That spice, intensity, and red fruit. On the finish, vanilla, strawberry chapstick again, a little nuttiness. Again, the finish isn't as good as the palate, kind of like A, but first sip, the finish got better this time. On the palate though, I got a slight coffee note, kind of jumped in real quick and said, nope, bye-bye. But mainly red fruit, heavy on the palate. On the finish, a little peanut butter, more spice. The finish definitely stepped up a lot this sip, third sip. It's crazy how this pour is just a great sipping experience where it kind of, it's not, I wouldn't say it's a big roller coaster, but it changes. So that, spicy yellow grass oaky note is what starts off really strong. And then you don't get it at all. And it's just red fruit, sweet, spice, intense. That kind of finishes off a little bit of nuttiness on the finish. Good. It's a good experience. So let's go to C. I don't know what's going on with these finishes today, but that finish also was crazy light versus the palate. So the palate, wood, dark fruit, jam on toast, purple Jolly Rancher. It's a lot of purple stuff, spice. And then on the finish, went to peanut shell, very light, dark fruit, not the best lingering note. Hopefully it kind of gets better after the couple sips. All right, so that second sip was very intense. The notes are pretty much the same, but it was very in your tongue. Very in your face flavors. So much I think that carried over to the finish this time a lot more. So I wrote purple Jolly Rancher spice on the finish as well, but the finish overall was way more intense compared to the first sip, which was very light. Just lingering for a good while. One more sip. Got a little bit of different notes on C this time on the palate. A little bit of strawberry and vanilla, which kind of goes against the whole dark fruit vibe it was going for, but it makes it a little bit more complex. Finish also very good. I really like C. C's a very good and complex pour. So let's go to D. All right, so D tastes the most young out of the four. There was this nice wood note, a decent amount of graininess. It was very sweet, youthful, spice. On the finish, again, grainy, sweet, spice. I wrote vanilla sweet question mark because I'm trying to figure out what that sweetness is. It's like a lighter sweet. It's actually not too bad. I do enjoy it, but there's definitely some youthfulness there that I'm not the biggest fan of. So we'll go to second sip. More of the same. I got a little bit of different wood note on finish. Again, it's not bad, but I do know that the pricing of these bottles are all around 100 and more. This would be a good like $50, $60 bottle. There's bottles in here up to $300. So this is very disappointing. One more sip. It's funny because all of these, the palates were better than the finish. Maybe C kind of got equal to it, but on D, it's the opposite. The finish is much better than the palate because the palate is where I get a lot of the graininess. On the finish, I get a lot more of the sweetness, a little nuttiness on the linger. So it's not terrible. None of these were terrible. All these are actually pretty decent. I'm not the biggest fan of the youthful notes. And when I get it, kind of like right away, like throws it negative ideas in my head. I'll pause it here, A/B all these, see if I get anything new, and some scores. Be right back. All right, so I went back and forth, and I got a winner and a couple different new notes. But first, let's do the giveaway. So if you want to win 2-ounce samples of all 4 of these, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with capital letters JPBB. There's no vowels, so it can't be a word, right? So in last place, we have the Barrell, the ice finish Barrell. It wasn't bad. It's just couldn't compete with these other ones. It's just a little bit too youthful for me. Score 3.25. Decent bottle. Appreciate you, Vinny, for letting me review on the channel. In third place, the most expensive bottle on this damn table, this Jefferson's. And the reason is when I went through it, it was actually pretty decent. But when I was comparing them back and forth, I started getting some graininess on it, which doesn't make any sense because I'm pretty sure this is one of the older ones. You know, 21% of this is 14-year-old and 40% is 11-year-old. But the 14% wheated double barrel doesn't have an age statement. The 17% rum cask finish doesn't have an age statement. And 8% is 8 years. So maybe that other stuff is younger. But it didn't show like that when I went through it. But, you know, A being it definitely showed a little bit of the graininess. So that scored a 3.5. So then it came down to these two. The 2 bottles I really wanted to review this for today's video. So of course it would be down to these 2. And the winner with a score of 4.1 is the Penelope Omega, the 11-year-old French oak cask. And I think that note I was getting is the French oak, that spicy yellowgrass oak. That's, I'm pretty sure, the French oak. And I got a couple new notes, right? So I got cinnamon on the palate and marshmallow on the finish. Even more complex than it already was. And the Bardstown Ferrand, I scored this a 4, so just barely beat it out. I circled spice, so none of these are proofy. What is the proof on this? 111.8. It drinks spicy. And I don't know if it's the rye that's put in here, but it was almost too spicy. And that's kind of where this one beat out the Bardstown because of the Penelope got a little bit better and the Bardstown just got spicy. So that's that. I know for sure these 2, well, for sure the Penelope Omega was in one of my whiskey cigar clubs. I think the Ferrand was as well, even though there's only a little bit out of here, so possibly not. But I'm going to try to check the scores and see if what I scored them before. Either way, that's that. Hope you guys all are having a great Christmas, and I'll see you guys Friday. Don't do nothing stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye. Merry Christmas.